The ARCA Hooters Cup last year went to the man of steel, Tim Steele. But the Superman of ARCA on the super speedways has been Jeff Purvis. With wins at Daytona, Michigan, and Atlanta, he became only the third driver in ARCA history to win 3 super speedway events in a single season. His performance gained him an invitation to run the Kodak Film NASCAR Winston Cup, but experienced one disappointment after another. That didn't discourage him, though. He came back strong with a season-ending victory at the 500K in Atlanta. Hoping to stop the Superman of ARCA in '94 is Bill Venturini, back for a full season in a car he calls Kryptonite. Bill is looking for a 3rd championship this year. And there are other new young faces in this series, all hoping that they can move from Jimmy Olsen Cub reporter to Clark Kent status for the ARCA Hooters Cup Series in 1994. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you to Daytona International Speedway for the 31st Daytona ARCA 200 part of the Hooters Cup Series. The weather, well, it is mostly overcast here at Daytona Beach. The temperature a pleasant 75 degrees, and we have had intermittent showers in the area. We hope those will stay away for the next couple of hours. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to Daytona for what should be a great race here this afternoon for the ARCA cars. 72 cars entered this race, and 68 took a qualification attempt. We're down, of course, to the best 43 cars. But one other thing about this field here today, only 9 drivers have not had some kind of super speedway experience, so it should be a great one. Tim Steele, the defending champion of the series, had a problem during qualifying, is going to have to come from the middle of the pack. For more on that, let's go down to the grid. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thanks, Bob, and hello, everyone. You're right. Tim Steele would like to defend his ARCA Hooters Cup championship with this same Ford that he won twice in last year. But the problems you mentioned were qualifying, and Tim is in the car. And, Tim, qualifying was a nightmare for you.
Yeah, you know, we tried qualifying twice for this thing, and every time we'd go out, card practice, we'd run speeds faster than what the pole was, you know, then we'd go out and qualify and lose the field pressure, and we changed about everything but the paint job on this thing, you know. And I think that right now I got a pretty good feeling about this car. At least we're not going out to qualify. We'll be out there with other cars, and I think we'll be just fine.
The fuel pressure problem has been fixed. He will start 23rd, right behind another veteran driver, Dick Trickle. These two will hustle toward the front in a hurry. But how easy will the front be to catch? Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, once they get to the front of the pack, they're going to have to contend with not only the pole sitter for today's race, but the pole sitter for next Sunday's Daytona 500. Loy Allen, here at Daytona in 3 ARCA events, you started no worse than second. You finished second last year. You've got 2 poles. Can you improve on that and hold this #1 position today?
I think we're going to have to wait and see how things pan out at the end of the race. We've talked to a lot of the guys, and we're just going to try to find out who we can draft with and just see how things wind up at the end.
You can believe that Loy is going to use this as a learning experience today, but he also wants to win. And we talked about the tough competition right here. 3 cars back, the defending champion of this race, Jeff Purvis. In fact, guys, there are a lot of strong cars in the field, all of them a threat to win.
Well, there really are, John. In fact, this is the closest field of qualifying that I've seen here at Daytona ever. You know, there were, in years past, there might be 20 to 25 miles an hour difference in the first car and the 40th fastest qualifier. Not this time, just about 7 miles an hour. So the field is really tightening up. This has become a professional division of racing.
It certainly has. We talk about 31 years have been coming down here. Well, 30 years ago, 25 years, 15 years ago, these ARCA drivers, you know, they did this as a hobby. They had a gas station or garage back home. They raced as a hobby, but they're getting more and more professionals in this. Bill Venturini, that's all he does is race. Loy Allen, Tim Steele, Jeff Purvis, Kirk Schomerding, all these guys in this race, they're professional racers. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And a big roar has just gone up down on pit road as the cars have been started, and in just a few moments we'll be set to go for 200 miles of racing ARCA style. ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And by Allied Signals Ram Filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. The Bud One Airship, aerial ambassador of the King of Beers, proud to provide you these aerial photos today of the ARCA 200 here at Daytona International Speedway. The world center of racing, and here's the way it is laid out. It is, of course, a tri-oval with the pit area located here on the front stretch, which is 1,200 feet long. The back stretch is 3,600 feet long. 31 degrees of banking in the corners. The back straight is banked at only 6 degrees, and here through the tri-oval, it is 18 degrees of banking. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for today's race. On the pole, as he will be for the Daytona 500, Loy Allen qualifying at 190.219 alongside Tim Fedewa in car number 55. In row number 2, Rob Hill driving car number 46 and Jeff Purvis in number 1. The third row has Bill Venturini, number 25, and the 66 of Mark Thompson. Row number 4, Mike Wallace in car number 52 and Mark Stahl in 32. The fifth row, Joel White in number 49 and Ron Burchett in 30. Bobby Boucher and Peter Gibbons will make up row number 6, starting in 11th and 12th positions. Bobby Gerhardt and Bob Schacht are in row number 7. Dave Jensen and Kenny Allen in the 8th row. Back in row number 9 for today's race, it's Michael Dockin and Jeff McClure. The 10th row, Kirk Shelmerdine, former crew chief for Dale Earnhardt, and Gary Bradbury in car 78.
Back in row 11, Dick Trickle and Billy Thompson. Watch for Trickle to go to the front in a hurry. Row 12, Tim Steele, defending champion, and Bob Keselowski. A couple of times he's won the championship in ARCA competition. Then we got Gary Wandor out of Cleveland, Ohio, and Rick Shepard in row 13. Row 14, Bob Williams and Jeff Finley.
Row 15 is Laura Lane and Wayne Peterson. Row 16, John Wilkinson and L.W. Miller. Andy Stone and Bob Strait go into 17th row. Frank Kimmel and Alan Pruitt in row 18.
And the rest of the starting lineup for today's race. And as the field comes down here in front of the main grandstand and in front of the pit area, you'll notice that all the crew members have moved out on their respective lines within the pit area. They are there to salute their drivers and wish them the best of luck, but they are also there to pay tribute to a driver that meant a very lot to us that was lost here at Daytona a couple of days ago. Jerry?
Indeed, Bob. The drivers in the drivers meeting wanted to be able to pay tribute to Neil Bonnet, who was liked by everyone. In other series that he never raced with that much, but they knew him and knew what kind of person he was. They said, what can we do? Can we stand on pit wall? And they finally all decided to line up on pit road as their final tribute and salute to a fallen driver, Neil Bonnet, who is gone.
To his memory, we dedicate our first stock car telecast of 1994. And we also lost a member of our broadcast crew in the past couple of days, Captain Jack Foster, who was very instrumental in bringing you the great excitement that you see from the in-cars, positioning them, flying the helicopter. Captain Jack left us on Friday. We also dedicate this race to him. Cameras are being carried today by Jeff Purvis and by Mike Wallace. He has a salute to Neil Bonnet.
This is Jeff Purvis' car. The James Finch owns both this car and also owns the 51 car that Neil was driving on Friday when he crashed. So they took the in-car camera plaque out of Neil's car and put inside of Jeff Purvis' car.
Jeff Purvis is lined up there in 4th position on the outside of row number 2. He's showing Mark Thompson behind him, come on, get close, because we're going to have to go if we're going to catch these guys in front of us. We welcome you to Daytona International Speedway, and we welcome you back for another year of stock car racing here on ESPN. The pace car has pulled off the racetrack, and 43 ARCA cars are set for the green flag. It is waving. Here we go.
Comes Purvis on the inside, coming off turn 2, 3 abreast, trying to take the lead from Loy Allen, and does it. And it looks like Fido is going to come out of this thing in second place.
That car that looks very much like Jeff Gordon's NASCAR Winston Cup car is Bob Hill, car 46.
Ooh, and he gets up into, man, Fido has to back off the gas to keep from getting knocked into the wall as the Hill car got up into the 2 car of Loy Allen.
At the conclusion of lap number 1, it is going to be Jeff Purvis leading the race. Second is Loy Allen, Bill Venturini, and Hill battling for third position side by side as they head for turn 1 again.
Great move by Jeff Purvis, moving around those cars running side by side. Had a wide draft there, and he picked up the momentum and moved right around them.
Good battle is for fourth position as they come down the backstretch. Again, we see 3 abreast racing down through here.
Ever see Bob Hill in the center of this as that Mike Wallace in the 52 car, the black 52, goes by on the inside.
And Mark Stahl, the number 32, the black car up high. Here they come down off the 18-degree banking, or the 31-degree banking, rather, onto 18 degrees of banking. Pretty good run so far by Mike Wallace. So there you see Stahl going to the outside and taking over that position. John Kernan has a report.
Bob, I talked to Mike early this morning. You know, that's Kenny Schrader's car that he is driving. He says we may be a little bit down on horsepower, but we got something for them as far as handling goes. He says that car is comfortable no matter where he puts it on the racetrack. He was very, very confident.
He's back in 7th position right now as we ride with him from the roof cam. Just a tremendous shot there. Mark Stahl there, number 32. There is the lead pack being led by Purvis.
But Loy Allen has caught him. He's running second place now. The race for 4th and 5th. That's Mark Thompson on the inside of Tim Fidoa.
One thing that'll allow that, they get close together, that pack behind them, will Mark Stahl and Mike Wallace will be able to catch up with them as they run side by side.
It also could mean that those first 3 who are hooked up in the draft will be able to pull away. Now they get into single file formation into 1. Oh, look at that.
Ron Burchett down on the apron of the racetrack in that 30 car, the yellow and red car.
He had the left side tires completely on the apron. You can see the car get upset. However, he held on and took it through the corner.
Good piece of driving, I'll tell you. Many times you see wrecks when you see that kind of situation.
Here is Bobby Boucher in car number 21 now coming up to race with Wallace and Stahl. And from the blimp, here is the close call down in turn number 1. Look at Burchett.
Well, what happened, it looked like Mark Stahl backed off a little bit going in there. Mike Wallace had to back off to keep from running all over him. And
yep, you're absolutely right, Ned.
Yeah, and then the 30 car just turned square left down there and got his left wheel down on the flat.
Wow, little damage there on the right rear end of that car. Looks like the bumper has been torn loose a little bit on Wallace's car, but he takes over that position from Stahl.
Mark Stahl's car appeared to be pushing up a little bit in the turns, and Mike Wallace just drove right on around him now.
That could have been bad.
Yes,
ugly.
it sure could have.
Man, oh man.
But again, we mentioned that unlike other years, we only have 9 drivers in this field today that have not had some kind of super speedway experience, so hopefully we aren't going to see any major incidents like we have seen at some times during this race. There is Jeff Purvis continuing to lead the way. In 2nd position is Loy Allen. 3rd is Bill Venturini, and then Thompson.
Thompson seems to have a strong car. He's the green car there, but remember, not long ago, he was running side by side with Fidoa, and they got behind this threesome up front, but he has broken loose from Fidoa and has run them down.
There's a shot from the blimp as they go down the backstretch. Purvis now beginning to put a little bit of daylight between himself and Loy. Oh, and we have a spin. It is Burchett, I believe. Yep.
Ooh, and another car clips him down on the inside.
Another car spins down the backstretch. This is going to be about a 3-car, it looks like, incident, maybe more. Another car is hitting the wall in the backstretch as Ron Burchett in car number 30 has come to a stop down on the inside of the racetrack off of corner number 2. I do not believe that we had any cars upside down.
Well, that's not a very good honeymoon for Burchett. He was married a week ago yesterday.
Really?
And his wife insisted that they come here for the honeymoon, huh?
We see as he comes off the corner, looks like he got a little bit out of shape, got in the outside retaining wall, and he can't keep it on the wall. Finally, the car comes back off the wall and spins down the back straightaway. Then other cars trying to miss him, get into it. There we see Bob Hill as he goes by. There's a car right about, not now, there, going to make contact.
One of those who came close to being involved was Tim Steele. Here it is from another angle.
He's already into the wall, back across the track in front of the other cars. Is that Keselowski?
I don't know. It looks like
the number.
Looks like Bob Keselowski.
There's another car going up and hitting the outside wall. So 3 or 4 cars involved in this incident, and now the safety crew is at the car driven by Ron Burchett. Our first caution of the afternoon, and it comes on lap number 6 of this 80-lap Hooters Series race from Daytona International Speedway. We're going to take a break and be back more with our coverage. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Daytona here in the early laps of the 31st annual ARCA 200, and problems early for Wisconsin Rapids veteran Dick Trickle, who started back in 21st spot in the Chevrolet. Trickle radioed the car would not come up to speed, and his car owners and crew chief, the Rulo brothers, and as Gary, Rusty, and Chris working on the car as they are working beneath the hood of the car. Apparently the car is limited to about 5,500 RPMs. You would need about 7,000 here at Daytona as they are working beneath, looking in the air cleaner, and they will possibly change the carburetor. So trouble early for one of the pre-race favorites here, Dick Trickle. Let's check in the garage area with John Kernan.
Jerry, Bob Keselowski has pulled his Chrysler in behind the wall, and they're going to try and work on it. But I'll tell you what, as we walk around, you can see the left side has been peeled back like they took a can opener and just pulled the sheet metal all the way back. They've also got some damage on that right front suspension, so they will have a lot of work to do. And once they finally do get the car running again, they will never be able to get it back up to speed. So they may, after doing some work down here, decide to call it a day.
Certainly not going to be very aerodynamic.
Oh, and of course, that is the car that Benny speculated was the one that hit the Burchett car.
And you can see that Dick Trickle's car is back out onto the racetrack. There is Ron Burchett, and the good news there is that he was able to get out of the car under his own power. He walked into the ambulance. He will be checked, and of course, at the infield care center, but he appears to be okay. After our first crash of the race here at Daytona International Speedway, we'll be right back. The Budweiser blimp joining us today above Daytona International Speedway, traveling the country as the aerial ambassador for Anheuser-Busch. And some great overhead shots being provided by the Bud 1 airship. Well, providing we don't have any weather delays, we will have a live edition of Speed Week coming up next at 5:30 Eastern Time. All the activity that has occurred here at Daytona so far, plus other news items from the world of motorsports. Speed Week at 5:30, hopefully live here at Daytona. Well, the field is now being formed up for a restart, but before we go green, let's get an update on Dick Trickle from Dr. Punch.
Well, Bob, during his first caution flag, Trickle has made 3 entries on the pit road because the car would not come up to speed. It would only run about 5,500 RPMs. Now, the Rulo brothers crew here took the breather off, checked the carburetor, and what they found was a very simple mistake that could be costly early on for them. They had crossed the plug wires. Cylinder 6 and 8 had crossed plug wires. They changed that. The car fired up and looks to be coming up to speed now as we get set for green flag here once again at Daytona.
Everybody is okay, by the way, from that first crash. Gary Bradbury was also involved, along with Keselowski and Burchett. And on lap number 11, we go back to green flag racing.
And Billy Thomas, yes. Billy Thomas was also involved in that crash. All drivers okay.
Two cars trying to break away. This is back about 6th or 8th spot. There's Tim Steele, the champion last year.
Like the Winston Cup cars, these cars have restrictor plates, so it takes them a lap or so to get up to complete speed.
It certainly doesn't look like they're running 190 miles an hour, but they are. Trust me.
Leads him off turn number 4 once again. Loy Allen continuing to run in second position, and Bill Venturini is third. Then come Thompson, Fidowa, and Boucher.
Mark Thompson, the green car, number 66, is running fourth, owns Phoenix Air. sponsored by First Union down here. He gets some help from the Elliots. Ernie Elliott built the engine, a boy that used to work with Bill, mechanic on the car, chief mechanic on the car.
He has a good fast race car.
He does have a good race car.
See Bobby Bowser back there in the 6th position. He's, number 42 is hit something.
Jeff
Caution
Finley,
is out.
Lansing, Michigan driver Jeff Finley has brought his car to the apron of the track on the inside. He has spun and perhaps made contact with the wall, so our second caution of the day comes out. And Dick Trickle is out of the car.
Well, that has to be a disappointment because after they ran at Atlanta, the last race of the year last year, they were really looking forward to this race. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
We are here with Dick Trickle, and Dick, it looked like you were going to be able to make a charge from the back, but suddenly you had problems.
Well, evidently the plug wires got messed up on it, and I think what happened is if I have the plug wires backwards, the thing would only run like 65 or 5,500. It should be running like 6,700. So I told him, I said, either the air box is too tight, it closed off the vent tubes on the carburetor, or else the plug wires are crossed on it or something. And it ended up being the plug wires crossed. But when we put them back right, they took a piston right away, evidently by running them crossed up.
A big disappointment for the Wisconsin Rapids veteran. Dick Trickle on the restart was coming to speed. Apparently the car popped, burned a piston, and he is headed for the garage area.
Tough luck for Dick Trickle and tough luck for Ron Keselowski, who was caught up in that accident that we had earlier in the race on the backstretch. He's out of the car now, and John Kernan is with him.
Thanks, Bob. Bob Keselowski, another Bob, he's climbed out of his race car, and we've already showed the damage on your car, Bob. There's a lot of grass clippings inside of there. What exactly happened?
Well, the car spun there. I'm not sure if a car got crowded into the outside wall on the back straightaway there or he spun. But I seen a car into the wall, and then all of a sudden there was so much smoke. I knew he was there in the middle of the track somewhere, but wasn't sure what. And I committed to turn left. And, you know, if I'd stayed high and stayed on my line, I'd have been fine. But it was one of them deals where you had to take a guess. And I guessed to the left towards the infield side. And right as the smoke cleared, there he was. He hit me right down on the grass, and I couldn't miss him. I couldn't turn. I couldn't do anything with it. He caught the right side of the car and just ripped the right side of the car right off.
Yeah, we were talking earlier that it might not even be worth fixing to get back out there. You wouldn't be able to run very fast at all, and they finally have gotten it righted so they could get the car pushed to the garage area. I guess you're done for the day?
I kind of doubt if it's going to be savable, John. The whole right side door cage is severely damaged, and you know, if it was the suspension parts or something, we could fix it and go back out, but we won't go back out with an unsafe cage, a roll cage, so we'll look it over, but it's doubtful.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Bob Keselowski apparently out of the race, and the number 42 car of Jeff Finley is at a halt down in the infield under turn number 2. Well, we're going to be back here at Daytona International Speedway as we continue our coverage of the ARCA Daytona 200. Right now, it's Jeff Purvis leading after 13 of 80 laps. Getting set for a restart of the ARCA 200 here at Daytona, riding with the leader of the race, Jeff Purvis. You can see the light on top of the pace car is out, indicating in about a half a lap, they'll go green.
That's exactly the sight every race car driver wants to see. The pace car in front of them, nothing
Either
else.
the pace car or nothing at all.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, there's Purvis, the leader, but running in second position is Loy Allen, who started from the pole of this race. And, Jerry, you think maybe there's something wrong with that car? Is that what you're hearing?
Well, indeed, Bob, they have had a problem apparently and developed a severe push in that Hooters Ford. I talked to Dennis Conner, the crew chief. The car is pushing from the middle of the turn out. He cannot keep the car anywhere near the middle or the bottom of the racetrack unless he backs out of the throttle. And on the stricter play race, you back out of the throttle and you are lost. They can't pit the car because they don't want to be back in the back of the pack with all that traffic to pass. They want to make this race on one pit stop, one planned stop between laps 40 and 43. So right now, he just has to live with it.
Just has to stay out there and hang on. His pole position here today was his 6th overall in his career. He's been on the front row 9 times in 16 starts, and the green flag is waving to get us back under race conditions on lap 16.
Bob, we saw that 49 car down on the inside. He's at least 1 lap down. Had a driver change there. Joel White got out of the car, and Joey Sontag has gotten in that car.
Tim Steele in that red car on the left of your screen as he has made his way up from the middle of the pack, a 23rd starting position.
And right now he's running 7th. And Bobby Bowser pulls over on the back. Something wrong with that car.
He was pulling over maybe to get into a better drafting position, but it looks like he is down on the inside of the track and slow. Yeah, he's down on the apron now.
Looks like he's got a flat tire.
Bobby has 2 second-place finishes here in 91 and 92. Of course, a former champion of the ARCA Hooters series.
John Kernan is there.
Well, Gary Bowser, crew chief, and his brother, they're asking me which side is flat. Now they get the motion. It's on the right side. It definitely is a flat tire. He is coming into the pits. No, wait. Now one crew member is saying stay out. Another crew member. Well, let's see. There's a bit of a confusion. We'll just have to wait and see. Is Bobby making his way on pit road?
Yeah, he's coming down pit road, John.
Okay, so he did come down. It'll be right side tires. They've also got a bar out, a pry bar, in case they need it. He apparently ran over something or possibly cut something down. They will wipe off the front grille. Right side's going on. They'll also put gasoline in the car and clean the windshield. And it looks like the right front is still up. It looks like it's the right rear tire that was down as Bowser is away.
But he goes a lap down as he comes out of the pits. The field goes by. That's going to be tough to make up.
Sure is. Look at that black car right at the end of that line. That's Frank Kimmel. Started about 35th. Has caught the lead draft.
Now, there was a black car up there before that caution, guys. Mike Wallace. He's not up there anymore. He made a pit stop during one of the cautions, so he was way back in the pack. But we'll see him after a while, I'm sure, as he makes his way back up.
And that Frank Kimmel car, by the way, Benny's a Harry Gant Oldsmobile.
There he is. How about that? Great run for Frank Kimmel.
Sure is.
Saw his dad over at a restaurant here in town the other night. I used to race against his dad.
Is that right?
Oh.
That must make you feel pretty old.
It does. It does.
Kimmel, one of those young faces that we mentioned at the beginning of the program, has a great future in stock car racing.
That's Mark Stahl, the other black car directly in front of him. Mark out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Trying to catch Tim Steele, the red car directly in front of them.
Look at him close in on Stahl and now go to the inside to try to pass him. As we focus in on this lead draft, which consists of 7 cars, and then back to 8th and 9th. Kimmel was the 1992 STP Rookie of the Year in Hooters Cup competition.
Now, that first pack is pulled away pretty good from the second pack, but look what a bunch of cars we got there. And we talked about Mike Wallace making that pit stop. He's back near the back of this pack of cars trying to make a move down on the inside in car number 52. Ooh, he gets a little close there to the car number 59. That car, of course, being driven by John Wilkinson. Mike Wallace carrying one of our in-car cameras, trying to make his way back up through the pack. And it looks like that, yeah, he's got a piece missing on the back of his bumper. That probably is going to have some effect on the handling of that car.
Wow, look as he comes off that corner.
Boy, he just blew around that other car.
Peter Gibbons in the 92 car, yes, that blue car on the outside in TN bearings. Peter's moving his operation to Charlotte, North Carolina, trying to go be a professional racer. 5-car L.W. Miller. He's got Brett Bodine up spotting for him today, trying to keep him out of trouble.
Mike Wallace finally clears the car.
There we see the back bumper going off the back of that used to say Duron paint. It says DU now.
Well, that's got to have some effect on the handling of that race car. Even though the spoiler appears to be okay, it's in place, but still that much missing back there. But it's cruising right along. He's not letting him bother him.
Now Wallace going to the inside of Hill down the back stretch, trying to take up another position.
Seth multicolored car, one of the former Jeff Gordon cars. I guess they just left it painted that way.
Up front, a battle for second position as Bill Venturini has moved to the outside now of Loy Allen and challenges for that second spot. The 2-time ARCA champion, Bill Venturini, got out of the draft.
Uh-oh, he didn't make that pass. Now we see that 89 car, Jeff McClure, going by on the inside. Now we see, is that Speedway trying to go by Loy Allen? And here's Mark Thompson. We have got a mess.
We do. We got 3 abreast at the end of the backstretch. Let's see how this shakes out.
Ooh, they don't
Go in there. Man, oh man. Mark Thompson's the guy backed off, and thank goodness.
Yeah. That could have been big-time trouble.
Purvis is broken away, but there's some great racing behind him. McClure there in 89, now alongside Venturini, and Thompson is in that green car, also in the mix.
And 89 has a very unique sponsor on it, Bob. The Florida State Seminoles. You know, the college, they're making a collectible car.
Yeah, he will carry several different sponsorships saluting different colleges this year.
Got a smoker here, car number 85, going into turn 1.
That, of course, is Bobby Gerhardt.
Boy, Bobby has had a lot of tough luck here recently, and now again in the race here today. Had some tough luck at his garage facilities up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, got a whole bunch of snow and ice collected on the roof. It collapsed, and just a mess, I guess, up there for Bobby Gerhardt, and now trouble in the race.
And didn't it set something off, and it blew the doors off the garage or something of that nature?
Yeah.
It's a tremendous story.
Oh, crash up in turns 3 and 4.
Car into the wall.
Looks like Laura Lane.
It's number 82, and
That's Laura Lane.
It is Laura Lane, a Charlotte, North Carolina driver. She's made heavy contact with the wall.
I don't know why she don't change her name to Lois Lane.
Speaking of Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, yeah.
Well, let's hope Laura is okay, because it appears as if the car is badly damaged.
You know, Clayton Cunningham is the owner of that car. He won the 24 hours last week in Daytona.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Huh. There's Laura Lane. Now, does she look like she ought to be Lois Lane?
Yep, you're right.
I never knew names had anything to do with looks. Maybe it does.
I mean,
this is our 3rd caution period of the race. We see some movement inside the cockpit from Laura, so she appears to be okay. John Kernan has a story on tires in this race. John?
Bob, one tire in particular. Bobby Bowser pitted a few laps ago for a flat right rear tire. Well, he did cut it. He cut it down. The air came out, but the reason he was able to make it safely around the racetrack, the inner liner stayed up. And I want you to look, we can move around, how the footprint, the tread, separated from the sidewall. You see that right there? But the inner liner stayed up, enabling Bobby to make it to the pits safely.
Might mention that the breakdown as far as tires are concerned for this race, 27 of the starters were on Hoosiers and 16 on Goodyears. 3 of the first 5 fastest qualifiers were shod with Hoosier tires. And there you can see Laura getting out of her car. She's all right. The car is not in very good shape.
she's walking over to the ambulance. They're going to give her a ride back. And meanwhile, cars getting ready to make pit stops.
Including Loy Allen, who is in bad need of a pit stop. The crew readies for him. We're going to go down to Jerry Punch and see what happens during this pit stop, Jer.
Well, Bob, we mentioned earlier Loy Allen had complained that the car had developed a serious push from the middle of the corner out, and they would like to make this race on one pit stop only, which means running at least halfway or 40 laps of the 80-lap 200-mile race. Well, they're 24, make it 25 laps this time by into the race, and Loy Allen just cannot make it. The car is getting worse and worse. So Dennis Conner, the crew chief, the veteran Winston Cup crew chief, by the way, has made the call to bring the Hooters forward down pit road. They will change all 4 tires on the car, and they will remove a rubber spacer from the left rear spring and try to adjust for the push on the car. Loy Allen, a rookie driver in a lot of ways on super speedways, although he's on the pole for both events, concerned that he may lose control of the car, and the veteran crew chief said, we want to make you comfortable, come down, then it's your job to get back to the front. So Loy Allen brings the Ford Thunderbird down pit road as the crew waits, and now we'll go across the wall to change those 4 tires and remove that rubber spacer from the left spring. They also place a ratchet in the right rear window. They will make a slight chassis adjustment to try to get the car not to be quite so tight or have that push coming out of the corner. A round and a half of wedge. They take the rubber spacer out of the left rear, left side tires on. As Bobby Gerhardt also comes down pit road for his service, he is off the jack. Loy Allen is away. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, Gerhardt had been smoking. The engine is okay. It's running. All of his gauges were okay. They think they might have a leak, so they're checking all of the hoses. They're looking around into the valve covers, and now he has shut the engine off. and it looks like they're going to go to work trying to tighten it up around the valve cover area, and it looks like now they're taking the plates off the spark plug wire guard and looking inside. So he has shut the engine off. They're going to be here a little while. It looks like they were hopeful that they could get the problem fixed, getting back out on track, because he did not lose a lap. In fact, you can see where oil has sprayed up under the hood, so they definitely have an oil leak problem.
So Bobby Gerhardt remains in the pit area as all others complete their work on pit road and get formed up for another restart here at Daytona in the ARCA Hooters 200. It is Jeff Purvis who is leading this race. He did not come in for a pit stop, and so he'll still be at the front of the field when we go back to racing in just a moment. Just about to go back to green flag racing here at the Daytona ARCA 200. You can see that we have run almost as many yellow flag laps as green flag laps. 12 to 15 is the breakdown right there, but hopefully now we can get the green flag and go for a while. There is Bobby Gerhardt's car going to the garage area. Doc?
You know, Bobby Gerhardt really needed to run well here at Daytona. Gerhardt really needed a good run because he received word at 5 o'clock yesterday morning that his Gerhardt truck roll up in Lebanon, Pennsylvania collapsed from ice and snow. The building collapsed, crushing almost $1 million worth of equipment in there. All 4 race cars, everything he had left that wasn't in Daytona was destroyed. In fact, as you heard Ned Jarrett mention, the rumors are true. The front doors of that store blew some 50 feet away from the building when it collapsed. Bobby Gerhardt did not have a good day. In fact, he's now standing with John Kirkland.
Well, Bobby, Jerry just documented what happened back home for you, and then now an oil leak that could not be fixed. It's been pretty tough on you.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tough week. Obviously, everybody knows what happened here, but I had the unfortunate circumstance to have a huge garage come down in central Pennsylvania, and my business had an absolute standstill. What happened to us here today, I believe that wreck that we went through the middle of, I felt a piece of something come underneath the car and it poked a hole in the timing cover. So it's just one of them freak deals. I mean, ain't too much we can do. It just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
That's Bobby Gerhardt, very disappointed out of the race, but he'll be back. Not next week, but possibly Talladega, as they get ready to come toward you, Bob.
Indeed, pace car off, and here comes the field down for a green flag. Bobby Boucher is lined up to the inside. He's a lap down. Purvis and Fedewa and McClure are the first 3 as we go back to racing.
Gerhardt would like to move out in front of Jeff Purvis and then get another caution, put him back in the lead lap. Of course, he lost that lap when he made an unscheduled pit stop for a flat tire, and he's up there now in front of Jeff Purvis. A little bit of jockeying around there. Now here comes Purvis back up on the outside.
Boucher's dropped in behind Purvis now. As a battle for second place, McClure is on the inside, and Fedewa up high in 55.
Mark Stahl, the black car on the outside, is currently running 4th.
Now the green car, Mark Thompson, was up there before we had this last caution. He made a pit stop during that last caution, so he'll be coming from the back of the pack.
And there's Kirk Shelmerdine.
How about that?
Black number 98, the last car in this group. Used to be Dale Earnhardt's chief mechanic. He's turned race car driver.
Well, you know, when he started driving race cars, I thought, yeah, go ahead and fulfill your fantasy and do your thing for a couple of years. You'll probably get out of the business before long. But this guy is a real race driver.
He looks like it, and he's going to run the full Busch circuit this year in Carol Levin's car, the 19 car that Tom Peck's been driving.
Here's Bill Venturini moving up through the pack once again.
Once again, it's Peter Gibbons on the outside, a Canadian driver.
There's Mark Thompson. He made a pit stop, as Venturini did.
Thompson, of course, is a pilot living in Cartersville, Georgia. Sometimes he doesn't fly planes as fast as he's driving here this afternoon.
Well, he's got some Lear jets he flies at about 500-600 miles an hour.
Right.
You see Loy Allen, after making that pit stop, he's in front of this group of cars. There's Venturini, Gibbons. And that red car right in the middle of your screen is Tim Steele.
Boy, he just went in a hurry, too, didn't he?
Going by Peter Gibbons.
Steele was in the pits during the last caution.
Coming up quickly on some of that traffic. It's got that car moving. Venturini also coming through the traffic. Venturini made a pit stop, as did Steele on the second caution.
Venturini holds the qualifying mark here at Daytona at over 200 miles an hour. That was back before the restrictor plate days.
Yep. Look at Purvis. He's stretched it out a little bit here.
Well, that's not Purvis. Purvis is broken away.
Yeah,
That's Tim Fedewa.
Yeah, Purvis is way out in front now.
That's what you were saying.
Right.
Excuse me.
Good battle for second, though, or
Between
good
Jeff
battle.
McClure. Tim Fedewa is second. Jeff McClure is third. And you see Mike Wallace up to fourth. After making a pit stop.
Yeah, and with that partial bumper on the rear. He's doing okay.
He's doing very well.
Makes that thing drive better.
That's the roof cam. Boy, just a great shot, isn't it?
It really is.
And they mentioned that Kenny Schrader owns that car. Schrader told his squad, hold the foot to the floorboard and just drive. That's the way Schrader would do it. So, and Mike Wallace, he comes from the same mold. He'll put the pedal to the metal, as they say.
Yep.
Mike's a good race driver. He just really hasn't gotten the break yet that he needs to move up into Winston Cup, which he desperately wants to do, to join his brother Rusty up there. Of course, his other brother Kenny was up there last year. He'll be running the Busch circuit this year.
Now we look at McClure. He looks on the inside of Tim Fedewa.
Wallace closing in on McClure.
Yeah, I think McClure was hoping that Wallace would move right up behind him and help push on by, and it looks like that's going to happen.
Yep. A little bit of a draft, and that's all it takes.
Yep. You almost have to have a little bit of help from another car. Two cars running together can run faster than one car.
Mike Wallace got a tough break. He's not able to get by. Now they're side by side, so
they've lost the draft of McClure there in front of them, so they're both going to stay there for a while until Mike decides, well, I better get behind Tim here so we can catch up.
Yeah, he's smarter than that.
Yeah,
he knew what was fixing to happen.
I agree, Ned. That was a very smart move, just to back up, get behind, and then maybe they got a chance to keep up. Side by side, they were doomed to go backwards.
Yeah, when I said two cars running together can run faster than one, that didn't mean running side by side. That means we have to put up one behind the other.
Procal on the back of the 55 car. That's a company that makes the decals that goes into these cars.
Well, we're going to drop back here a little bit and see what else is going on behind that second, third, and fourth place battle. And there are some cars running together. That was the number 5 car of L.W. Miller.
Venturini and Tim Steele. Venturini, the second car. Tim Steele is, and that's Loy Allen.
Yep.
Yes. Our pole sitter. 3 awfully good race cars hooked up now.
You bet.
Allen runs number 2 in the ARCA series. Of course, it'd be number 19. He won the Daytona 500 pole with.
They move up on the outside of Mark Stahl and go by. Bob Strait pulls up on the back, the black car with the red hood.
Up front, hey, look at this. McClure is about to take over the lead from Jeff Purvis. So those cars getting hooked up in a draft, they were able to catch Purvis. And now McClure and Purvis battle for first, and the battle for third position is between Fedewa and Wallace. Oh, great racing here. McClure has the lead, and Fedewa goes to second.
And Purvis back to third in jeopardy of losing that spot.
Guys, one of the big stories coming into 1994 was Hoosier versus Goodyear. Of course, they've run the Hoosiers in ARCA competition in the past, but now Hoosiers in Winston Cup racing. Jeff Purvis has the Hoosier tires on. Are we seeing something here? These cars that have caught it are running on Goodyear tires. Don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but Purvis's car seems to have gone away a little bit right now.
And now we see Wallace coming up again alongside Jeff Purvis down the backstretch, but deciding to fall in behind Jeff. Wallace's car running well here, and here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Exactly, Bob. We've already documented that Mike Wallace is driving the car owned by Kenny Schrader. It's Kenny's personal race car. Now, Mike is getting a lot of help, not only from the crew chief, Timmy Cohut, but Kenny Schrader on the truck and Jimmy Horton. As the crews now are saying that the caution flag is coming out on the speedway, and yes, Jim Clark does wave the yellow flag, so some of the crews who wanted to make an adjustment will now have an opportunity as caution is being shown once again here at Daytona.
Well, with a couple of cars involved in what appears to be a major incident here. The number 64 machine of Michael Dokken is involved. And I believe...
green car.
Yeah, maybe Mark Thompson will not speculate too much on that. But it is a green car that has crashed on the backstretch here at Daytona.
That car has crashed heavily.
Yes.
Still can't see a number.
Yeah, it is
That
Mark
is the Mark
Thompson.
Thompson.
Mark Thompson.
There's the 66. It is Mark Thompson.
And the safety crews are right there to check on his condition.
That's unbelievable. The roof is gone. See, that guy has jumped right in the car with him because there's no roof there.
Yep.
The front end completely torn away.
Well, we will check in on the situation on the backstretch, but Mark Thompson has crashed heavily here at Daytona. We will take a break and resume our coverage of this 200-miler in a moment. Back at Daytona, we are under caution because of a two-car accident in the backstretch here on the main straightaway in the Tri-Oval on Pit Road. Things are very, very busy as there is Jeff Purvis coming in, and let's throw it down to our pit reporters.
Well, indeed, Jeff Purvis is in. Behind him, Tim Feedon with Loy Allen back in, and Mike Wallace. Most of the lead fivesome are on pit road. They realize that they can come in under yellow right now and change all four tires here at lap 37 and only have 43 laps to run. They should be able to make it on fuel. You heard Ned Jarrett mention that the tires may have been a problem. The Hoosier tires may have been going away. This will be a break for Jeff Purvis as well as Loy Allen getting some fresh Hoosiers. Mike Wallace getting an excellent pit work. He is down pit road. Behind him comes the car number 2 of Loy Allen, then Feedon with Purvis and Venturini.
Mike Wallace takes his car back out onto the racetrack, as does Jeff Purvis. As the cleanup in the backstretch continues, Mark Thompson is the driver who has crashed heavily here, and also the number 64 of Michael Dokken was involved. The top part of Mark's car is completely gone. The front part of the car is completely gone, and the extrication process is underway. There is Jeff Purvis as he gets back onto the racetrack and is ready to go racing, but we will be under caution here for a few moments, so we'll take another break and be back with more of our coverage from Daytona after this. The red flag is being brought out here at Daytona due to the severity of the crash on the backstretch involving Mark Thompson. The car's coming down pit road here. They're going to stop, and of course they will not be allowed to work on the cars during this red flag. Mark Thompson, meanwhile, is out of the car. He is being loaded onto the stretcher, and that will be taken to a helicopter that will immediately take him to Halifax Memorial Hospital. Dr. Jerry Punch has a report.
Bob, we already know it's very important the physical condition a driver is in when they race a race car. You couldn't ask for a better physically conditioned individual than Mark Thompson. From a fitness standpoint, he is top. The 42-year-old Cartersville, Georgia jet pilot, yeah, that's what he does for a living. He's a jet pilot. He has a military contract with the U.S. Army, Navy, and most recently has been working as a chase pilot for NATO in Europe. He's in top shape. He loves racing. He loves to go fast. So as far as fitness is concerned, he's got a great chance, hopefully, to recover from an injury. We have no report as of yet on his injuries, but let's check in right now with John Kernan.
Jerry, I have good news. The other driver involved, Michael Dokken, he is being checked over in the infield care center. He is okay. Michael, what exactly happened?
The car got loose in 1 and 2 and slid up the track, and when I was exiting the corner, the car hit the wall and then came back down off the track, and the green car hit my left front tire, and I saw his car start flipping. I just locked it down, kept it left, and it just went sliding through the grass. I saw the sheet metal and everything flying, but I'm all right, and hopefully the other guy's all right.
It's Michael Dokken's thoughts just moments ago. He was checked out, Bob, and he is okay.
And, of course, our prayers are going to be with Mark Thompson as he is loaded onto the You can see the hand movement from
Yeah.
Mark, so that is very good news. In fact,
Yeah, folding his arms.
Yeah, that is a very, very good sign. But he is being loaded onto the helicopter that will take him to Halifax Memorial. When we get a report on his condition, we will have it for you. And we'll have the resumption of this 200-mile race in a moment. We welcome you back to Daytona International Speedway as ESPN begins another season of stock car coverage and the ARCA Hooters Cup 200. Now our AutoZone race summary shows you that Jeff McClure is currently the leader. He has led 5 of the first 41 laps. We have 2 late changes. 27 cars are still on the lead lap. We've had 4 caution periods, and the average speed so far is almost 117 miles per hour. The 2 leaders that we have had, well, Jeff Purvis led the first 35 laps, and then McClure took over command. Those cars that have dropped out of the race include Bob Keselowski, Ron Burchett, Billy Thomas, Dick Trickle, and Gary Bradbury. Also Jeff Finley, Mark Thompson, Laura Lane, Bobby Gerhardt, and Michael Dokken. Of course, Gerhardt and Dokken and Thompson involved in that accident. Now, the word from the medical personnel here at the racetrack, Mark Thompson was unconscious when they reached the car. However, by the time he was out of the car and onto the ambulance, he had regained consciousness. That's a very, very good sign, and if we have any further updates from Halifax Memorial Hospital, we will pass them along to you. Meanwhile, it's time to go back to Green Flag Racing.
And Bob, Jeff, the leader has made a pit stop, and now I believe we have Tim Steele up front. In fact, several cars made pit stops after they were allowed to, after they made a lap, after the red flag was resumed. And yes, Tim Steele is the leader, but Mike Wallace about to take the lead in the black car, coming up on the outside there.
Meanwhile, the red and white car is Bobby Bowser.
He's a lap down.
He's a lap down. And I guess Frank Kimmel is, I say Bobby Bowser's now, he's on the tail end of the lead lap.
Right.
Exactly.
There is Mike Wallace, though, and he's going to be the leader of the race with Tim Steele right behind him as they come out of the second corner and down the backstretch.
Car number 46, so Bob Hill, is in third place.
The Jeff Gordon lookalike, by the way, for you racing fans, Jeff Gordon won the Busch Clash this afternoon.
Wasn't he awesome with a move out of turn 2, making it 3 abreast down the backstretch to take the lead? Boy, Jeff Gordon is a contender for the 500, I would say, a week from today.
Sure looks that way. Meanwhile, Bobby Bowser in jeopardy of going a lap down. We see Frank Kimmel, the leader's going by him. That's Mike Wallace, the black car, number 52. Tim Steele, the red 16.
And so Kimmel has gone a lap down. Bobby Bowser stays at the tail end of the lead lap, but he's being chased by the leader of the race, Mike Wallace.
See Loy Allen back there, our pole sitter. There he is, the white car on the outside.
He's up to third. Tim Fedewa now fourth in number 55.
Bobby Bowser is being shown in the 28th position, so there are 27 cars still on the lead lap.
I see Venturini, Jeff Purvis, and Bob Hill right behind that group.
Riding with Jeff Purvis.
There he is on the outside of Frank Kimmel. The 02 car is Frank Kimmel. Bowser trying desperately to stay in the lead lap.
Well, he's just hoping for maybe a little debris on the racetrack or something that would cause a caution so he could get back around, because he has a good fast race car. He just got a lap down early when he made an unscheduled pit stop because of a flat tire.
Fedewa got a little bit high going in turn 3. Purvis takes that spot away.
That's 5th position. Fedewa back to 6th, and now we see Mike Wallace going to the inside of Bobby Bowser right here at the start-finish line, but still can't get around him, putting him a lap down as Tim Steele comes up to challenge on the outside.
Yeah, that helped Bowser to push right on by Mike Wallace. And if they run side by side, that's going to help Bowser that much more.
Yep.
And Purvis is trying to go by Venturini on the outside, so he's got 2 spots of side-by-side racing in the top 5.
Well, Steele is using a Robert Yates motor, and he is getting as much out of it as he possibly can. He and Mike Wallace move side by side.
Caution is out, Bob.
Caution is out.
That might be the break that Bobby Bowser is looking for, if he can stay in front till they get to the start-finish line, which it looks like he will.
There's debris on the racetrack, and yeah, it looks like that Bobby Bowser is going to be able to make up the lap. Here they come to take the caution. Yep, Bowser does make up the lap, and a great break for him.
And Bowser can credit Tim Steele with helping him to get back out front, because Mike Wallace had him passed, and Steele came up behind him, pushed him right on out front, and then they raced side by side for about a lap, and that just let him pull away, and now the caution is out for that debris.
That is exactly right, and we are under caution for the 5th time this afternoon. The pace car moving ahead of Mike Wallace's car, and the speed of the race is reduced once again. This will be a quick caution, we are told, because it was a small piece of debris on the backstretch that has caused this caution, and the officials have already got it picked up. What in the world is this?
Thank you very much. Hello to you, too.
John, what's going on?
Well, this is the gas man. Now, explain to us, first of all, Al, let me figure out how to pronounce that name. How do I pronounce that name?
Shadora.
Shadora, and you're with the Williams team?
That's correct.
Okay, what brought about this ESPN High Benny? Are you a big Benny Parsons fan?
Oh, I was when he was racing, yeah.
Well, what about now?
What about now, though?
Well, he's one of the better announcers, yeah.
You didn't think we were going to put you on the spot here, did you?
No. I asked him for one of these the other day. I had to get it made up myself. He said he didn't have any.
Well, he didn't even give you a hat? You know, I heard Benny gives hats to everyone.
I couldn't even get anything to eat out of him.
Well, that's not an unusual situation. Benny is not likely to part with any kind of food. I like that. Well, I was a fan of his when he was a driver, but now, nah.
By the way, John, I don't give hats away.
Or food.
Or food.
Well, there'll be at least one more lap before we go back to green, so we'll take another break and resume our coverage of the ARCA 200 from Daytona in just a moment. Stay with us. Back at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing for ARCA racing here this afternoon on ESPN. Running in 6th position currently is Bill Venturini, making an all-out assault on the championship this year. He's a subject of our Sears Die Hard driver profile for this event. Bill's a 2-time champion in 87 and 91, has a total of 12 career wins, including 2 at Atlanta, 1 at Texas World. He was shut out in 93, but looking forward to a great season in 94.
Yeah, I've got a new partner, Bill Egbert, owner of Apex Racing. We joined together this year, and we're going to run for the ARCA Championship in 94. We're really excited. Living out of Chicago, it made it really hard to run the Winston Cup program. Then we moved down here to Charlotte and ended up getting a deal to run for the ARCA season, so we're excited about it.
A crash under caution in turn 4. What in the world is going on? Purvis is involved. Steele is involved.
Loy Allen.
Venturini is involved. What in the world could have happened up there? They were coming down for a green flag, but they weren't anyways near up to speed. I mean, they were...
Venturini's got some pretty heavy damage to the right front of his car.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And Purvis having difficulty getting the car headed in the right direction. Well, the unusual circumstances at Daytona continue in 1994. Let's take a look at it.
Something happened to that car. It just...
It's Loy Allen, yeah.
Just shot up into the wall, back down across, collects Tim Steele.
Venturini goes up, hits the wall.
Gets Purvis.
Once again,
overhead.
Watch the third car, the white car. It's like... Look at that.
Just turn right suddenly.
Do you guess he accelerated right there and maybe an axle broke or something that shot him into the wall?
Possibly. I can't imagine.
I can't either. But anyway, it has possibly eliminated from a win several top contenders. Here it is from Jeff Purvis's perspective.
They start to accelerate, and when they start to accelerate, the car just veers to the right.
Yeah. As if one wheel was pulling and just shot him right into the wall.
Well, let's get a report from Dr. Jerry Punch.
We are standing in Loy Allen's pit. He has brought the damaged Hooters Thunderbird in. sheet metal damage heavily in the front of the car. Crew now, Dennis Carter and company, working on the right front. One crew member says Alan was trying to tell him on the radio that apparently he was trying to knock the car out of gear and rev the engine up to cool it off. And Alan is obviously very frustrated here in the car as we see Jeff Purvis's car come down pit road and come sliding to a halt. They have a ratchet stuck in the left rear window. Now they make him back up pit road, and the crew will try to finally pull the ratchet out of the Delco Remy Chevrolet. Here back on Loy Allen, the Hooters crew now told him to shut the car off, apparently very heavily damaged. Did Loy, let me talk to the crew while they're working, as you watch them work on the car, what did Loy say happened?
Well, I'm not really sure, Jerry. It was just one of those unfortunate things that happened. I believe he was going to knock it out of gear, and in the meantime, somehow or another, he just steered it right in the wall. And we got some suspension damage, and looks like we knocked out the oil cooler, and that's just one of the unfortunate things of racing, you know.
Part of the Hooters crew here as they report on Loy Allen's damage, and apparently what was going to be a good week for Loy Allen starting on the pole today and next Sunday, hoping for 2 wins on 2 consecutive Sundays, has come up short, at least in the ARCA portion of Speedway.
Well, as they say in the Chrysler commercial, this changes everything. Now look again at what happened. The third car in line, the white one up against the outside, all of a sudden just veers to the right, hits the wall, comes down, collects Tim Steele. Purvis and Venturini behind both spin, and Venturini hits the wall.
But Purvis, I don't think hits anything.
No,
I think Purvis's car is okay.
Yep. Well, unbelievable. Budweiser's aerial ambassador, the Bud 1 airship, is providing the beauty shots of Daytona today and also catching some of the action that we've seen in this race. Bill Venturini is into the pits as he gets the front end of that car looked at.
He was some pretty heavy damage to the right front.
Sure is.
And here's the car getting a side window put in, Bob. The reason for the caution, when we said debris was on the track, a side window had come out of a race car. Apparently this was the car.
That's Speedway, of course.
Yeah. And so that was the reason for the caution, that bunched the cars all up together that caused that situation up there, turn 4.
So they're doing a quick tape job there on the right side of the car. Jeff Purvis is back out on the racetrack. It's going to be interesting to see if there was any damage done to that car and if he can stay up there in contention for the win here this afternoon. An unusual crash up in turn number 4 has changed the complexion of this race. Back after this. Loy Allen's car is being pushed behind the wall after a very strange wreck up in turn number 4 under caution as they were about to come down and get the green.
There we see the third car on the outside. That's Loy Allen. He goes up, hits the wall, comes down. That's Robert Ham that he runs into. That's not Tim Steele, but Robert Ham. And Venturini goes up and pops the wall. Purvis spins out. I speculate that Loy Allen thought he had it out of gear and was going to swerve the car back and forth to clean the tires, and he swerved the car to the right, hit the gas. He thought it was out of gear. He was going to get some acceleration to cool the thing off.
And it wasn't out of gear.
And it wasn't out of gear.
Yeah.
And when he hit the gas and swerved to the right, it just went right in the wall.
Well, I don't know when I've seen a situation like that or if I ever have.
I don't think I have. That was strange.
It sure was. Hopefully a cleaner restart to the event here coming up as once again the lights atop the pace car are out.
Well, they already had a last lap. The last time, see, they're already coming off turn 4, coming down for the green flag. So we're way ahead.
Here we go. Back to green flag racing. As Mike Wallace is the leader of this race. Tim Steele is second. He's okay. He was not involved in that incident. Hill is running third, and then Kirk Shelberdine is in 4th position.
My apologies to Tim Steele and his crew. That car looks a lot like these, both red, the 18 car.
Well, maybe he can explain exactly what happened himself. Jerry Punch is with Loy Allen.
They have pushed the pole sitter behind the wall, and Loy, a tough break for you. What happened up there?
I don't really know. I reached up to pull the car out of gear, and the car just got loose with me. It's a bad break. I mean, these guys worked hard all day. Worked hard the whole time we were here, and the Hooters car was running really good today. You know, we're going to take a look at the front end.
Lloyd, the crew's telling me that possibly a tie rod came apart in the right front of the car and just veered the car into the wall. Did you feel a sudden snap with the car?
Yeah, I tried to save the car with the, throwing the thing out of gear, but I think, to be honest with you, I think it made the thing worse because the car just tended to dart even more into the wall because I guess it didn't hook the rear tires as hard.
A freak accident has eliminated some of the contenders here in the ARCA 200, Bob.
And another incident up in turn number 4. That's
Peter Gibbons, 92 car.
And the caution is out once again.
Looks like the right front is down on that car. I don't know if he's made how much contact he's made with the wall, but yes, he does have a flat right front tire.
And he's shredding that tire as he comes down pit road. Peter Gibbons from Ontario, Canada.
And this is a young man that's moving his garage racing operation down to Charlotte, Mooresville, North Carolina.
He's made it to the pit area. Meanwhile, the field has come down and is taking the caution. They go to work on the right front of Gibbons' car to get that tire off. The new one on. It's our 6th caution of the day, and we are at lap number 55. So we got 25 more laps to go in this event.
So they got to be careful to get all that old rubber out from under there. They can't throw the new tire back on top of the old rubber because that will just make the new tire go flat. Okay, they say they have the work done, and away he goes.
Peter Gibbons, you'll recall, won the NASCAR Sportsman race at Pocono back in 1992. He's down on all 4 now and back out on the racetrack as the field is behind the pace car once again. We've been talking all during the race about pole positions and how Loy Allen won his 2nd for an ARCA race here at Daytona. And we've talked about many other people winning the pole, but by golly, there's a guy named Benny Parsons who has done rather well winning poles and winning races in ARCA for that matter.
Well, thank you very much. I think I sat on the pole 3 straight years here in Daytona. Yep. 68, 69, 70. I was looking at the field summary. David Boggs up in 12th spot. Bobby Bowers worked his way back up to 14. Glenn Brewer, that's Tim Brewer's brother.
He was one of those who had to take a provisional to get into the starting field.
Venturini back
showing 27 cars still on the lead lap, so still a good competitive race. And 31 cars are shown to be still out there.
Meanwhile, we see Venturini coming back down pit road to try to do some more work on the damage he had to the right front of his car.
And Gibbons is also headed back for his pit area. Here's Bill with that extensive damage on the right front of the car due to the incident under caution up at turn number 4. Now the sledgehammer.
The big hammer's coming out. 2 big hammers.
Yeah, that's the aerodynamics of that car is already goofed up, and
yep,
they might be helping it some.
Don't get in his way. That's Billy Venturini, Bill's son, with the largest hammer.
Swings a pretty mean hammer.
He does swing a mean hammer.
Big boy. Yeah, that's too bad. Bill had a good run going here today. He's still shown in the lead lap, but I can't imagine that car being as competitive as it was with that kind of alteration to the car.
We had just come out of the driver profile of Bill Venturini, is talking about how he was going to make an all-out assault on the 1994 Hooters Cup Championship. And then the incident occurs.
They're not making this thing aerodynamic, I'll tell you. They're just simply trying to get the fender off the tire.
That's right.
Now they're going to take the tape and make it aerodynamic. Yeah, there's a bungee cord going across trying to keep the hood on it. Now there's the tape. Yeah, we'll try to make this thing as aerodynamic as we can. Meanwhile, the spotter is watching the safety car and telling them where it is. They can work until he gets about between the 4th corner and the start-finish line. At that point, Bill will have to leave, go out, make another lap, come back in. Hey, they need more tape.
They'll say this is 200-mile-an-hour tape. We'll see.
We will see. Yep. Cars rolling again. The field has been given the 1 more to go signal before we go back to green. Speaking of pole positions, Bill Venturini has 7 super speedway poles during his career, and that is the most of any ARCA competitor.
That's not nearly the tape.
Well, let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch for another report.
Well, gentlemen, for years we've been watching the ARCA flag stand, and the man up on the flag stand is Jim Clark, a 35-year veteran of the Midwestern ARCA Association. Now, after today, he will retire. Today is his last race as a flagman for ARCA. 15 years of flagman, 20 years a competitor, 35 years he has been a part of this organization. He is going to get to relax and watch him now on television for a long time, guys. And from all of us, Jim Clark has been a big help to ESPN over the years, and certainly everyone here on pit road wanted to wish him well.
That's another guy I used to race against.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's retired.
And he's retired. Yeah, what does that tell me?
And here you are, still trying to do TV. We'll be back with more from Daytona in a moment. The Daytona ARCA 200 from Daytona Beach, Florida, ready to go green once again, coming off our 6th caution of the afternoon. It is still Mike Wallace up front with Tim Steele running in 2nd position and Bob Hill running in 3rd.
Looks like Mark Stahl running 4th. Meanwhile, we should be able to settle this thing on the racetrack. There shouldn't be a fuel situation or anything. The fastest car should win. Yes, that is Mark Stahl in the 32 car. Kirk Shelmadine,
I think running
5th.
John Wilkinson in 6th.
We are on lap number 57, by the way. Our graphic there showed you lap 15. That isn't quite right. We're a little bit further along than that. We're on lap number 57 now, as a good battle is shaping up for 2nd and 3rd.
There goes Bob Hill. Right by goes by the lap car, the 49 car.
Wallace and Steele have separated themselves a bit. Ooh, look at Frank Kimmel. He is all over the racetrack. Whoa!
Really got high. Jeff Purvis just drove his up very high there to get around some traffic. Found him an outside groove, just working well.
Wallace and Steele have broken away.
Looks like Jeff Purvis's car is still running well.
Here's a replay now. Watch the 02 car up high on the rate. Look at Purvis, first of all.
Wow, he's right up against it. And look at Frank Kimmel get his car sideways and save it. Great job by Kimmel saving that car.
And Bedewaff was very alert, too, because he could have run right into him. He had to back off to keep from doing that.
Yep.
Meanwhile, that green 70 is Rick Shepard that we keep seeing. Here he's getting these loose again. And whoa!
He might have a tire going down. There's something. That car is just getting that loose each turn.
Man, oh man, he has done a great job 2 laps in a row saving the car.
But he's off the throttle now, and he knows that something's wrong with that car.
Yeah, he probably would like to have come in the last time, but he couldn't get down the pit road, so he was going to have to go around the track. But, yeah, he was wise to slow it down. See what is wrong.
There we see him on the inside as Venturini goes by, passes him, takes that spot away. The 01 car is Bob Williams. We saw his gas man a moment ago. Bob Williams, gas man, saying hi, Benny.
That's Bob Shack, the number 75. We have run more yellow laps today than we have run green laps. 32 under yellow and 28 under green. Well, Frank Kimmel is down now off of corner number 4 onto the apron and approaching pit road. This is the new car from Harry Gant in its first ARCA race.
That's a tough break for him. He had a good run going here today.
On the racetrack, meanwhile, good battle here between McClure in 89 and Shelmerdine in 98.
McClure passed Kirk, coming off that corner, took the spot away. Heads for the front.
Jeff McClure has a fast race car here today.
Yeah, and the front's really not that far away. There it is.
They have caught up to Wallace and Steele. Were separated a little bit from 3rd, 4th, and 5th a few laps ago, but now it's basically single file formation and everybody running together. Jeff Purvis is not out of this race by any means. He catches up to the rear end of this lead trap.
No, that little altercation up in turn 4 didn't hurt him at all, I don't believe, because he has come from the back of the pack and caught them, running 7th or 8th there now.
Like a car bottoming out there right in front of them.
Oh, the fin right in front of Purvis. And he gets him.
Jeff Purvis taken out in a crash. Several other cars become involved. That's the number 59 of John Wilkinson. again, a caution comes out, the 7th of the day, a multi-car crash here in the backstretch, and Bobby Boucher took evasive action and went to the inside and went down onto the grass. And there is Purvis unbuckling the helmet. It's over for Jeff today.
It was a tough break because he, again, had a good, fast race car, was making his way back to the pack.
Here we see the 59 car. Watch as we come off the corner, and it looks like that somebody might have tapped him. I don't know if that's true or not. That's the 37 car, Bob Strait. I don't know if there was any contact between Wilkinson and Strait or not, but Wilkinson comes up the racetrack, and Purvis has no place to go but right in the side of that car.
And, of course, with all the smoke that they're creating there, it makes a blind spot for the cars behind them.
From another angle now.
Once again, we'll see. It's hard to tell if Strait got up and took the air off 59 spoiler.
If anything, Benny, the 59 might have touched that car in front of him there a little bit just before he started to spin. I don't know. He was awfully close to it.
There we see Brevac in the 34, the blue and yellow car spinning. There comes Bobby Bowser, the white car way to our right through the grass. And I tell you what, Purvis is racing him for the inside. And Bowser wins that race.
And from the blimp, Bud 1 airship high overhead. Yeah, it looks like maybe there was a little contact there in the back end.
Yeah, and it was from the back as opposed to the front that I speculated. Yeah.
Sliding up, pinning Purvis against the wall, and then Brevac also spinning.
He probably backed off and got tapped in the rear.
And there's Boucher.
Yeah, Brevac goes right through the middle.
Ooh. From Jeff Purvis's in-car camera, we'll ride along with him and listen to how it went.
Oh, that hurts. Yeah, you need a goodies after that.
Hard contact with first the car and then the wall, but Jeff is okay. He's out of the car and in good condition. The cleanup will now continue here at Daytona. 7th caution of the day out. Back with more after this. 65 out of 80 laps completed here at Daytona in the ARCA 200. It's Mike Wallace leading, followed by Tim Steele, Bob Hill, Mark Stahl, and Jeff McClure. And 6 through 10, Kirk Shelmerdine, Bob Strait, Tim Fedowa, Rick Shepard, and Craig Rubright. Here's Jerry Punch.
I am with James Finch here, who owns the car that Jeff Purvis was driving. If you take a look at his uniform, it says Country Time here on it. He also owned the car that Neil Bonnet was driving on Friday. And James, I know it's been a very, very difficult week for you, and this certainly doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. After the tragedy with Neil, we were hoping to have a good run today and possibly win the race like we did last year with a back-to-back win, but unfortunately it wasn't good for us today.
I know Jeff Purvis said he wanted to dedicate the race to Neil Bonnet, and just before the impact, you had clocked him, and he had run an incredible lap.
He had run a 46.52 chasing the cars down, and, you know, we felt like we had a real good chance to win the race, and I don't know just what happened over there.
Well, apparently the good news is, James, to you, your driver has climbed out and is okay, but unfortunately, the difficult week continues. Best of luck to you.
Okay, we're fixing to load up and try and go to the funeral. Susan, we love you, and we'll see you tonight or tomorrow.
It's an emotional pit road here, an area for James Finch's race team as they load up and make the long trek back to Alabama.
All right, one more lap to green now. Here is a replay of the incident. John Wilkinson III's car gets sideways after possibly being hit in the rear, spinning up the track and pinning Jeff Purvis against the wall.
Yeah, Jeff had nowhere to go. The car just slipped back out in front of him, and there was just nowhere to go.
And we replay the in-car perspective. Listen. Already was undoing the helmet before the car stopped. Well, Jeff is okay. That is the good news. And we are now within 14 laps of completing this race. We'll resume in a moment. ESPN Speed World today at Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona ARCA 200, part of the Hooters Cup Series for 1994. Dr. Jerry Punch is down in the pit area before we go green. Well, who is that strange man that's with you, Jerry?
Bob, you know this guy is the mellow yellow Pontiac driver, last year's pole sitter at Daytona,
yeah.
but let me introduce him. He is our new colleague on ESPN, and he is learning to be a pit reporter, and I'm having a blast out here with this guy today. Kyle, welcome to ESPN.
Man, I'm having a great time. I didn't realize how long pit road was until I've chased you up and down this thing with these camera guys about 3 or 4 times. So maybe I took the wrong choice. I should have been upstairs.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Isn't that a cush job up there with Benny and Bob? And then we work down here. Right, Kyle.
That's got to be a cushy job. I hear Benny keeps food up under the counter where they don't ever film it. So
and old gum too.
I'm sure there's plenty of old gum up there. He's got his hat stuck on it under there now.
You'll be joining us coming up for our next telecast, and we're looking forward to having you on pit road. And I saw you doing some conditioning earlier. You were walking pretty fast.
I'm not walking as fast as you guys. You guys double time me. I'm going to have to pick up the pace a little bit.
We welcome Kyle to ESPN as we get set for more green flag racing, guys.
By the way, a former winner of this race, by the way, in 1979, Kyle Petty, now a member of our pit crew here at ESPN, and his debut will be next week as we present the Goodies 300.
Never see Bob Strait having some problems getting going on the restart.
Kirk Shelmerdine went by in the car number 98, and Tim Fedewa in car number 55. Wonder Strait was a little concerned if he did get in that altercation, or maybe bumped the car number 59 a little bit, and was a little concerned about how the way his car is handling right now.
There we see.
This is Kirk. 6th and 7th, by the way, Shelmerdine and Fedewa.
And there's the lead.
That's still Wallace up in front with Tim Steele running in second position. Bob Hill is third, then Mark Stahl, McClure.
Well, McClure is looking all over the racetrack for a spot to make a pass. He has a fast race car. He just hasn't found the right spot yet.
Tim Steele looked like he thought about going on the outside of Mike Wallace. He decided against it.
Sitting there looking at that rear bumper, you can see it when you get a close-up there. So how did that car run that fast? He's running out in front of me, leading this race with that piece of bumper gone. Of course, Bobby Allison won the Daytona 500 here without a bumper one time, didn't he?
John Kernan is down with Jeff Purvis, who was knocked out of the race in a crash a few laps ago.
Well, Jeff, you have been checked out. You're obviously okay. What happened?
Well, this car in front of me got loose, and he headed to the infield and just came back across the racetrack, pinned me up against the wall. And, you know, I'm sure he wasn't wanting to spin, and I wasn't wanting to hit him. Just unfortunate.
It looked like you all might have had another chance to win this race. Even after the other incident, you were still running strong.
Oh, yeah, we really had, I think, a good car for today. And the guys really worked hard, and we wanted to win this race for Neil and the whole Bonnet family. And, you know, we just got caught up in an accident, and we hate it.
Well, it's great to see that you're okay. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bob?
Some great racing out on the track, Jerry. Positions being traded here about every lap except up in the first 2 positions. 10 laps to go here. And Fedewa is battling for position up front. However, it is still Mike Wallace leading this race and Steele locked in behind him.
Oh, and McClure, I think he got in the back of the Mark Stahl car, and Stahl spins. That was a 3rd place car. And things stayed to the ground.
It sure did. On a normal couple of years ago, that car would have taken off and flown through the air, but it stayed on the ground. Mark Stahl guiding it as it spun around, and now he gets it headed back in the right direction, but it is going to necessitate another caution flag, and this is the 8th of the event.
Well, we're going to run out of laps here in a minute.
Yeah, we've only got 9 to go right now, so here it is again.
I can't tell if he and McClure it looks like they made a little bit of contact.
Yep. And at that particular point of the racetrack, it didn't take much. You see the car almost lifts up as it starts out through there, but it doesn't. It settles back down, stays on 4 wheels on the grass. That's a wild ride. I took it one time on the front straightaway here. Didn't hit anything.
You can see the flaps there on the front end of the car are up.
Yep.
The hood flaps?
Yep. Here it is from another angle.
All right, let's watch again as McClure comes up on the back, and boom, he just makes a little bit of contact, just enough to send the 32 car in a spin.
That's tough. Mark Stahl was having a very good run.
Yeah, he sure was.
He's been around the sport a long time, Ned. He needed a good run today.
He did.
Mark started the race in 8th position, and his chances of winning are probably gone, but he still has turned in a very, very good performance. With just 9 laps to go here in the ARCA 200, here are the top 10. Mike Wallace is the leader. Tim Steele is second. Jeff McClure third, followed by Bob Hill, Tim Fedowa. 6 through 10, Kirk Shelmerdine, Bob Strait, Glenn Brewer, Rick Shepard, and Craig Rubright is running in 10th position. By the way, we might tell you that the other driver involved in the Jeff Purvis crash, John Wilkinson III from Hueytown, Alabama, was treated from the infield care center. He is in good shape. By the way, he's a 13-time national karting champion. How about that?
Well, he must have started when he was 6, because he's not about 19 now, is he?
Well,
very young man.
Okay, here we go back to green now. This will complete lap number 73, so hopefully we can run the rest of this race under green. 7 laps to go. Green flag is flying.
21 cars still in the lead lap.
Despite the fact that we have had so many caution flags, it has been a very good, very competitive race. Mike Wallace is the leader. There's Tim Steele right behind him, and Bob Hill.
Jeff McClure is the 4th place car, that white car on the outside, trying to get by the traffic so he can go up and race those guys.
Well, Hill got by Jeff McClure on the restart.
But McClure's got back by now, Ned.
That's Frank Kimmel that they are racing with. But Kimmel is a lap down.
Ooh, and his car's loose again. Kimmel's car. It has really been loose in that turn.
Okay, now, the 89 car McClure gets lined up. Here comes the 55 Fedowa.
I guess that was Breback that got by the 34 car Breback.
Yes.
Which is, he's a lap down, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see. Get me straightened out here. Get this year started better than I'm doing today.
Breback was involved in that multi-car crash coming off turn 4.
Right.
Turn 2, I'm sorry. 5 laps to go.
Can anybody beat Mike Wallace? Tim Steele has been locked right there on his rear bumper for the last several laps under green, but he has made no indication that he can pull out the pass. Is he waiting?
Mike Wallace is wondering that too.
Yeah,
Is he waiting? Does he have anything left? He's a sitting duck, Mike Wallace is. But he can't do anything but hold it to the floorboard and hope for the best.
Yep.
He's looking now. Looking on the inside.
Less than 5 laps to go, but nope, he falls in behind Wallace once again. Tim Steele running in second, the defending ARCA Hooters Cup champion, won 3 races last year in his championship season at Talladega, Pocono, and in Winchester.
Meanwhile, right behind Steele, there we see Jeff McClure, Tim Fedowa. They've caught these 2 cars.
I think McClure may have something for these 2.
If he can get the right spot to pass. His car has been very fast all day. Fedowa has a good race car as well.
And Kirk Shelmerdine is hanging right in there, too, in 5th position.
Yeah, those 5 cars have pulled away a little bit now from the rest of the field. Here comes Fedowa down on the inside, making a pass.
Yeah, he's got McClure for 4th at the moment. 4 laps to go. Now McClure swings to the inside and tries to take it back, but can't.
Wallace has not only got Kenny Schrader spotted for him, I'm told that Jimmy Horton, another spotter.
Now Steele takes a look to the outside.
He's got Fedowa going with him. Or does he?
Well, they couldn't muster up enough speed then to do anything.
Here comes McClure closing in on the top 3.
Wallace's car holding right down to the bottom of the racetrack in the turn, so it appears to be handling well.
Completing lap number 77. There are 3 laps to go. It's anybody's race. The first 5 right together.
And Kurt Shelmerdine back in 5th. He's watched Earnhardt do this hundreds of times. Now, what did he do? How did he do that? Maybe he fell back and got a running start on these guys. Here comes McClure on the inside of Speedway.
Trying to take over third position, coming off the second quarter. They may have bumped there.
Here comes Kirk. Will make it 3 abreast.
Oh, boy.
And he does. And they go in the corner 3 abreast.
And they survive.
Can they come out of the corner 3 abreast? They're going to try.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough part.
Oh, no. No. Oh, my. How did they do that?
Oh, no. They held their breath, I'll tell you.
Billiard balls bouncing off of each other, but they managed to survive. It did allow, however, the top 2, Wallace and Steele, to pull well ahead with 2 laps to go.
Meanwhile, here comes Straight into the mix. He goes by Shermerdine.
So he takes over 5th position, but look at the interval now between 2nd and 3rd position as Wallace continues to take over Tim Steele, and the next time by, they'll get the white flag.
I tell you, Wallace's car seems to be handling so well in the turns. He picks up a couple of car lengths, or has been in each turn. Let's see if he does here. He's not picking up too much here. Tim Steele hanging tough. Steele knows that he's got to make his move here very quickly as they come for the white flag.
Here we go. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Wallace and Steele going for the title of the Daytona ARCA 200. And a spin here on the main straightaway, the tri-oval.
That was L.W. Miller spins, but he's still going now. Don't come back across the racetrack. Oh, another crash going in turn 1.
A car up against the wall, making contact. Some flames coming from the side of that car.
There's L.W. Miller.
Oh, that's Bill Venturini.
Crashed hard. And the leaders coming back into turn 3. They're racing back for the flag.
They know where the crash is. It's in turn number 1. Here they come off of the banking of turn number 4 onto the tri-oval. Tim Steele looking to the inside, now the outside, trying everything he can to take the win from Mike Wallace, but he can't do it. Wallace wins.
Good job. Now, back off, guys. Back off, because Venturini may be running across the racetrack. Hope not.
Bill Venturini has crashed hard, but we did see him lower the window net on the side of the car so as to indicate that he was going to climb out of the car under his own power. Mike Wallace, with a great run, has won the ARCA 200.
Then we see some pretty heavy damage to the right side of this car.
Here's John Kernan.
Well, the crew chief, Timmy Cahoot. Timmy, I tell you, you're more excited down here right now than I've ever seen you.
Well, you know, this is a sad weekend for everybody here at Daytona, but I guess we're just carrying on the best we can. And I'd like to thank everybody from Duran Paints and Air Orlando and everybody involved that was helping us. And we're just pretty happy right now.
You know, Mike told me this morning, he said, I may be down a little bit on horsepower, he said, but that car will drive anywhere on the racetrack. So apparently you did your job.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Timmy. Head up to Victory Lane now. Bob?
All right, congratulations to that crew, and Bill Venturini, as you can see, has removed his helmet and is waiting to get out of the car, but he appears to be okay after crashing in turn number 1 on the white flag lap. We'll be back to talk with the winner, Mike Wallace, after this. ESPN Speed World being brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. The ARCA 200 is history here at Daytona International Speedway. Here's our Split Fire Winner Circle interview, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob Jenkins. Mike Wallace has climbed out of the car and been greeted by Kenny and Dorothy Schrader. Dorothy, Kenny's daughter, here is Kenny is the happy car owner. And Mike, congratulations on an outstanding effort.
Jerry, thank you very much. I mean, we couldn't be happier. I mean, the whole Ken Schrader race team, Duran Paints, Air Orlando, the whole group did just a fabulous job. As I said a little while ago, I'm sorry it got overshadowed with what's happened to Neil and his family. I really feel bad for them, but we're really happy at the moment.
You had some great spotters up there at the late in the race. You had Kenny on there, and I understand you had Jimmy Horton. What were they telling you those last few laps?
Those guys were good spotters. I was kidding him. We call him Air Horton after he got out of the park there at Talladega, but Jimmy just kept me abreast of what was going on. Kenny didn't say nothing, as he said he wasn't going to say nothing the whole race, but 10 laps to go, he come across and says, look, he says, you're running good on the bottom. He says, if they're going to gang up on you, go to the bottom, leave them go around the top of you. And fortunately, it wasn't that bad. They were right there. Tim Steele ran a great race, and we were just thrilled to death to win this thing.
I'm told at the Busch Grand National Banquet during the offseason, you came up to our producer and said, put the in-car camera with me in Daytona, I'll win the race, and you made good.
Well, what do you think about that, Jerry? That was pretty good. We did say that. We appreciate it. Hope the fans at ESPN had a great ride today. I want to say hello to my daughters, Lindsay and Christina, at home, and everybody back at home. We're elated. Absolutely, as Carla Wallace comes in and gives her husband a big hug on congratulating. He will be 35 next month, and he gets a nice early birthday present here at Daytona, Bob.
And our congratulations to Mike and car owner Kenny Schrader, who himself has 2 ARCA wins at Hagerstown and Topeka. An update on Mark Thompson. He has 3 cracked ribs, a concussion, and bruises. He is being held overnight at Halifax, but other than that, it appears that he is not seriously injured, and that is very, very good news. Mark Thompson finishes 34th after a very, very bad crash on the backstretch. A lot more racing action coming up from Daytona as we present the Goodies 300 next Saturday night. My thanks to Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch. This is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.